A lot of things are only cool when you're young. Getting a luxury car or winning a trophy is awesome if you're 18 or younger, but when you start your 30s, no one gives a shit. Social media bombards us with people becoming millionaires before they're 30, so having abundance when you're older is seen as ordinary. If you have a hot girlfriend when you're 20 or younger, that's awesome, but if it's when you're 40, everyone just screams gold digger and master manipulator. You want the same natural things no matter your age, but it suddenly becomes socially unacceptable to be honest about it when you're older. If you don't change when the world expects you to, you're seen as the bad guy. It's the same with getting good at anything. Being good at something is sufficient to be seen as impressive when you're a teenager, but no one cares if you're good at something in your 20s. If you're good at something as a preteen, you're marketed as a genius. The secret is that those genius kids had mentors and also they didn't really work hard for their ability. They were raised on diets that gave them the nutrition to learn better. Some kids will study just as hard, but they don't have the same guidance or nutrition growing up, so they get less value for the time spent studying. There's lots of research that says learning is actually easier when you're younger because your neuroplasticity allows you to form neural connections more easily. Not to mention the struggles people face in terms of having to manage their relationships, health, and purpose in life as adults. So, society has it backwards. Learning something when you're older is harder because you have less time and your neuroplasticity doesn't allow you to do it as easily. You have to be in the top 0.1% of people in a field for people to give a damn about what you do as someone in the 30s or maybe in 20s. A lot of people are chasing the cool phase of their life and that's when they get sucked into the mainstream. Yeah, it's obvious materialism like luxury watches, cars, yachts, and mansions. But what's more insidious is forcing people into conforming, into liking sports, dogs, working out, joining the military, and having mainstream morality. There's so many things that I actually made a bingo sheet out of it. A future video on it will be made on it with an even bigger bingo card. Watches are worthless since we carry phones now. Cars are just meant to be reliable. They're not toys. Yachts are pretty expensive and probably only worth it if you're a billionaire with massive passive income streams. They're huge money sinks, so people rent them out instead of buying them. Cool people party on yachts in media with all these beautiful women. Mansions are huge maintenance and they're really only worth it for people with big families, but funnily enough, the people who own them aren't portrayed as having that many children in media. I was told that it was un-Australian to not like cricket, and I just thought the brainwash was extremely deep. People have dogs because firstly, they've been conditioned to, and I notice all the conditioning when they say dogs are man's best friend and assertions that puppies are good. Secondly, I heard on the Red Pill subreddit that some men carry dogs around because they wanted attention from women, and they did get the attention. They didn't realize that the women cared about the dogs, not the men holding the leash. We see a lot in anime where the girl sees a man's biceps or ripped body and she lusts over him. That's how men are tricked into torturing themselves. Military advertising is about being badass like in those action movies, but no one explains what the value of being badass is even about. Superhero and martial art movies are propaganda to get men into endangering themselves. Mainstream morality is forcing you to have society's values or you won't be accepted. There's no argument from first principle or desire to ask the hard questions. And when you actually do, it's straw men and knee jerks. All these things are artificial social acceptance because if they knew the real you, they would hate you or not care about you. I highly recommend you watch my Brave New World video. When people don't have any arguments, they just assert their conditioning. The reason I'm able to notice all the attempted conditioning is because I have been made aware of it and my senses have been amplified by being specifically against those things. If you're against religion, you're going to notice all the times people preach. If you're against veganism, you're going to notice all the plant-based propaganda, and so on and so forth. People get pissed off at wokeness because they're against it, and so they notice the conditioning attempts. And the woke people are pissed because their conditioning isn't seen as a norm, like with plants, dogs, and working out. As an enemy of the mainstream, I'm calling out everyone. No one gets to push the conditioning onto me. If you want to be against the mainstream, you have to surround yourself with people who are also against it. If I'm seen as cool by normies, I'm doing something wrong. I just want to take the time to call this absolute poser out. You might have heard of him, Mark Twain. Mark Twain said, "Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect." Then he has another quote. "If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite." This is the principal difference between dog and man. First of all, his quote isn't even true. A dog can attack any time with no warning. I want to make anti-dog videos. It's only because I have so many videos in the back burner that I cannot invest the time to make them. This poser piece of shit talked about being against the majority, and then he promoted the mainstream opinion. Absolute scumbag wanted the appearance of being an enemy of the mainstream, then he follows the mainstream. What the fuck is wrong with people that they feel the need to do that? I'm banning anyone who tries to fool a fast one and pretend to be against the mainstream, yet promote it. This is why I rarely promote other creators, because they pull up this mainstream shit all the time. I hate normies who pose as the anti-mainstream the most. I watch some videos about people going against the mainstream in one way, then they do this retarded shit and promote exercise or supplements. Their subscribers are so conditioned that they don't even question the merits of the reinforcement of the conditioning. It's like those channels where they talk about how immoral modern society is, and then they try to recruit people into the religion as a solution to society's problems. Mate, you don't care about helping people. You just want to recruit people into your cult. People do join communities for a sense of belonging like churches, but again, that's artificial social acceptance. The difference between me and everyone else is that I actually give you the steps to solving your problems. I don't just say, do therapy, get a dog, accept yourself, or worship this god. If there's no solutions like with trauma, I just straight up say, there's no solution. There's so many illogical and unnatural pseudo solutions that wouldn't pass muster without depending on the previous conditioning of the viewer. There's no such thing as being universally cool by acting a certain way. There's only being accepted by certain groups that agree with you. If you want to be universally seen as cool, you need to be good looking. But still, at least some people will hate you out of jealousy. People are able to market things to you because you're promised a dream of social acceptance and a girlfriend. So just understand this and you'll be immune to the conditioning. So, whenever you see someone flashing materialism, that's them seeking social validation. Consciously, they might be wanting the social validation, but what they really want is the attractive partner. If I had a Giga I wouldn't care if I was hated by the world. Plus, I would automatically get social validation for having someone so good looking.